Hi, my name is Tom Bloomer, and what I want to talk to you about today is past experience that I've had with in Sulphur Springs, Texas, and I beg you to please listen to my story from start to finish. Don't just give up on it. It might be kind of long at times, but there's a reason for everything that I'm telling you. I'm a former Marine. I was in the Marine Corps from 1988 to 1992, and had a very bad traumatic experience during the first Gulf War that has kind of put us where we're at today. And but that was back in 1990, and here we are in 2026. I have lived a blessed life. I've been an international business executive for multiple corporations. I've held offices in China, Dubai, Italy, Indonesia, India, and worked a lot of regulatory compliance, ISO 9001, things like that. And I still continue to do that today when possible. In 2024, I got blindsided by a mental illness and ended up in a psychiatric hospital at Glen Oaks in Greenville, Texas. During my time at Glen Oaks, I was diagnosed with multiple issues. One, major depressive disorder, MDD, with psychotic features, as a chronic illness and as a severe disability, PTSD, survivor's guilt, generalized anxiety. And now I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about the Marine Corps or anything like that. I love my time in the Marine Corps, and like I said, I lived a blessed life. I mean, I made it all the way to 54 years old before this hit me. So I'm happy for that. The last 2 years have been a struggle without a doubt. There are times that I don't even know what's going on, and it's during those times that I've tried to take my own life a few times. I've ended up on a ventilator, and it's been bad. But the issue that I want to talk about is this past December. I think it was like December 3rd, December 2nd, something like that. Hopkins County, Sulphur Springs, Texas, Hopkins County sheriff's deputies were beating on my door. I opened the door and they told me they had a warrant for my arrest. I kind of laughed because I've never been in trouble, in 36 years or whatever, I think I have 2 speeding tickets. So, and I knew the deputies have come and checked on me during my battles with this mental illness stuff, and eventually I ended up being spending 5 different times in psychiatric hospitals, but we'll get to that. But anyway, they had this warrant for my arrest, and they told me it's for possession, and I'm like, I ain't got nothing on me. I mean, I don't do drugs, I rarely drink, and they said that they had a video of me in a convenience store paying for gas or something like that, and this baggie fell out of my pocket, and they tested it, and it had less than a gram of methamphetamines in it. Well, first of all, I don't even drive because of my illness, and I have a caregiver, and I had a different one at the time. And so I was really confused. But anyway, they put me in handcuffs and took me to the Hopkins County Sheriff's Department, where now they know about my mental illness and everything. And I mean, they kept me in the violent offender cell overnight. naked, of course. And the next day, they released me on a PR bond, but they transferred me to a psychiatric hospital up in Sherman. I spent the month of December up there in the psychiatric hospital, and over Christmas before I was released, and I came back home. Now I also have a pending court case at this time because of this possession charge, which I'm still confused about. So I'm out, out and just doing my thing. I trying to work when I can and take care of my house and things like that. I rarely go places anymore because of my illness. I got a thing in the mail saying I had a court date coming up, and I went, and my attorney and the DA said that they were going to give me probation or something like that, and I was just like, I still don't understand this, because where was this video that has me with this stuff? And then he showed me that in this convenience store, and it does look like me getting money out of my pocket, and this baggie falls on the floor, but I get my money and everything from my caregivers. So at the time, it was a gentleman named Marlon Comer, and I'm not driving or anything, so he sent me in to pay for the gas, and then there's this affidavit or something that a gentleman in the store said that he knew who I was, and and he saw me drop it. I mean, in the video, I kind of look right at. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so they didn't want to hear that. The judge didn't want to hear that. And I'm just like, whatever. Okay, give me probation. He's like, well, they wanted to give me a drug test. Well, at that point, I tried telling them that I have a paper from my doctor that says that the antidepressants, the trazodone, the sleeping pills, and anti-anxiety drugs that I'm on for my mental illness will cause a false positive for methamphetamines and amphetamines. And they told me I was lying, this, that, and the other thing. And sure enough, peeing in that cup, it came up positive for methamphetamines. And I kept trying to tell them, we need to do something different here, and they wouldn't do it. They took me over to the jail and stripped me naked and put me in the violent offender cell again, freezing cold. I'm naked. Now I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and so I can handle a little bit. But naked, laying on a concrete floor, it was terrible. And I ended up trying to take my own life in there. And they stopped me, and I ended up eating, getting peanut butter sandwiches. But for 10 days, I was naked on this floor with nothing but and I kept telling them I got mental illness. I never got my medicines in there. Never. And I just laid on the floor freezing, waiting for the days to go by. Then comes, I wake up on that Saturday in the hospital, chained to a bed, and they tell me that I was taken in there. They found me unresponsive in my cell or something like that, and I was on life support. So now the day, I know at one point during the week they had put me in this apparatus and dislocated my hip and everything, and so I'm wondering, how did I end up on life support at the medical hospital when I was in this violent offender cell, naked, laying on the floor. And then the nurse even told me in there, she's like, you shouldn't be in here. I seen, I'm strapped to the bed, and the corrections officers are over there watching me. And now again, remember, I have no, I don't have a record, and I'm 56 years old now. But she said that, the corrections officer told her, I was in there because of coming up positive on this drug test, and they revoked my bond. And she told him, well, he's on trazodone, and that will show up as that. He shouldn't be in here. Anyway, they right away found, knew I was had problems with mental illness, and they wanted to send me to another psychiatric hospital, but the judge said no, send them back to jail. And I went back, and once again I was stripped naked and put on this for the next another 3 or 4 days or whatever, sleeping on this concrete floor naked, and no pills, no medicine again to help me. And finally I was going to court again, and I went in there. My judge's like, this time we got your probation, you're gonna get out. DA's like, we got you. And I'm like, even though I am not guilty of this, I just want this over. I'm freezing. I just want out of here. I'm hungry. I'm not getting fed. I don't have my medicine. So we go in front of the judge, and they tell him they want to do this probation thing. He's like, I'm not giving him probation. He's faking and all this. And he's like, send him to Terrell. And they sent me to the state mental hospital there, which was great. I mean, I probably needed that. And I went in there and finally got back on my medicine after 2 weeks, because they didn't give me the medicine there in Hopkins County. And I got to go home finally after a week in there. So, I've done like 2 months now of time for this video that I still don't fully understand. Both times I've been stripped naked and put in this cell, called a liar, somehow or another found unresponsive. I'm sure that I was beat on or something, put on life support. I just don't know what to do, and I'm reaching out for some kind of help or advice or something like that. Because I am, like I said, I just went through my assessment again just last week for this year, and once again, major depressive disorder, chronic illness, severe disability. I mean, I can't even think straight now. It's gotten to that point. And I'm getting ready to go back to court on July 29th, and I have a feeling they're just going to do this to me again. And I don't know why I keep getting locked up in a cell and stripped naked and beat on. So, I mean, can you give me some advice? Am I wrong here? I don't know. But thank you in advance. And if you can reach out to me, please do. I appreciate it. And again, my name's Thomas Bloomer. My email is tombloomer@gmail.com. Tom Who Is Me is my Facebook. Been a rough couple of years, but I look forward to talking to you. Thank you. Bye.